You know, I've already done Porsche 911 reviews in so many different versions, but what in the car god's name is this? This here is actually the Porsche 911 Dakar. Power-wise, it's somewhat like a GTS, but it's really way different. First of all, this is an extra optional wrap in the styling of the Dakar Rally by Porsche in 1978. At that time it was a Group 4 rally car. Today it's based on the 992, the current generation of the Porsche 911. And only this wrap is about 6,000 euros or dollars extra. The total price of the vehicle, almost €250,000 or dollars. Is it worth it? Is the craziest Porsche maybe the best one? Let's find out here together with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the front. Towing hook in the front. There will also be one in the rear. Huge air intakes, Porsche LED matrix system. You can already see the daytime running light, and this really beautiful wrap just fits the vehicle so well. And I can tell you, when I'm driving around this vehicle here, around town and also on the motorway, everyone is smiling, everyone is taking pictures, and it's like, what on earth is this? And you can already see it here in the side profile. We have wide wheels, in the front 19-inch, in the rear 20-inch. These are also all-terrain tires, and they kind of serve both purposes. You can go with them on the motorway still, but you can also drive off-road. This vehicle here has been into the Sahara Desert actually. The key of this vehicle is the higher ground clearance. So here now it is 16 centimeters or 6 inches, and that is 5 centimeters or 2 inches higher than a normal Porsche 911. And with the lift system, you can even pump it up higher, about 3 centimeters or an additional inch. And will this also work on the German Autobahn? We will have a motorway special here in Germany today for you, and I'm so excited if this is actually going to work. If it's like a crossover, even like an SUV feeling, we will find out for you. Turning indicators or hazard lights you need to use when you're stopping just in the middle of the rally racing track to do some servicing. Well, very visible, looks quite cool, and already here at the side as well. The length, by the way, normal with 4.53 meters or 178 inches, but extraordinary, this huge rear wing right there, and it fits the rally styling, no doubt about that. Also in the rear, super massive, very wide. It's also one of the characteristics of this very generation, and the light strip goes all the way across. Once again, we have the towing hook here at the rear as well, and the exhaust, well, is it a case for the Autogefühl fake exhaust release? The outer tips are cosmetic in a way, but then it goes through the rear exhaust behind it. What's your take on that? Also pretty cool with the silver contrast, isn't it? As for the engine, of course, it is here at the rear. So we have a rear engine concept, all-wheel drive with a rear wheel bias. And as I said initially, it's power-wise comparable to a GTS. 3.4 seconds is the acceleration figure. And underneath here, we cannot really take a look at it, is a 3-liter 6-cylinder flat engine with 480 horsepower. The Porsche engines are serviced from below. The only thing you can open here above is this service opening here for some fluids. Turning indicators in the rear, pretty cool, right? I like it when they cover a very wide area. Special key fob case here with Alcantara, and even more special. Yeah, I know what you're thinking now. Yeah, this one is a special one, also with the special wrap around. Fancy, right? Isn't it? When we unlock the vehicle, the door handles come towards us. They also give some kind of haptic feedback, but a little bit weird. Oh, interesting here, behind, there's still some Sahara sand. Yeah, can't get rid of that. Then, door closing sound is actually very solid, although it is, of course, frameless doors, as we know from the 911. Then instead of the doors, a lot of Alcantara use here, or race tex as it's called at Porsche. Alcantara is, of course, a company, a brand that not everyone is using. Then here, really cool quality also from the inside door handles and so on. I love that. 911 Dakar badge, a special one. And more microfiber or race tex use on the interior. For example, with the steering wheel, I just love it. Gray 12 o'clock marking, best grip, the raciest steering wheel that is, and it's also easy to clean actually just with a microfiber towel. In the instruments I found cool, yes, they are digital somewhat, but in the middle the RPM meter is still analog. And then there are also special seats. These are the standard bucket seats, also with a lot of microfiber. It's not animal free because the side is being used with animal material, but in the inside part, race text once again. You could downgrade from these bucket seats to normal sport seats, but I rather recommend to stick with these seats because they just fit the vehicle better. They also hold you really tight, and I wouldn't say they are less comfortable, but it depends on the body posture, of course. The only thing you can adjust here is, first of all, you can pump it up, y'all, a little bit higher here. So when you're not as tall as me, then you would put it a little bit higher because then you can still see in the front. For me, it's all the way lowest position, and then you can slide it front and back. That's it. And the steering wheel, also with a manual adjustment like this, very smooth and nice process. And still real buttons at the steering wheel, for example, for the volume control and for controlling the digital instruments. I love that. And most special here, this driving mode selector, so practical or so handy to have it at the steering wheel to be able to change driving modes while driving. The top speed, by the way, is 240 kilometers an hour. And if you drive with the lift system, then it would maximum be 170 kilometers an hour or 105 miles per hour. Will we drive actually more than 200 kilometers an hour or more than 125 miles an hour today on the German Autobahn? Maybe. Oh, and also the seat still features some Sahara sand. With 189 in meters or 6'2", I still have a lot of headroom left, by the way. Behind me is part of the optional Ready Sport pack, and then you have this massive roll bar and no rear bench. I mean, the rear bench cannot be used for passengers anyway, just for bags. And you can still put something between that. Of course, this is very important when you're on the Rallye Monte Carlo and you're, like flying downhill like a mountain or something because you were too fast. So yeah, but it looks cool, doesn't it? Digital instruments, you can control the right or the left side, the digital ones, and what you want to see and so on. But in the middle stays with the analog RPM meter. Driving modes, wet for wet roads, of course, so it reduces the throttle input and puts the ESC on a safe mode. Normal, then balanced handling. Sport, stiffer suspension already, more exhaust note. Rally then with drawn back, stability control and so on even further, and that the tires can also have some more slip. And off-road really lifts the car up even further, 3 centimeters or 1 inch. And if you wonder if parts are blocked by the steering wheel, defo is not to miss the analog stopwatch. Still a manual climate unit with nice clicking sounds, and this metal knurling, I love that. As for the feedback, you may need to get used to this small or short automatic shifting lever, but meanwhile I think it does a good job. More special buttons here, for example, for raising or lowering the vehicle. Exhaust button to pump up the note, and then on the right side to put the EC off, maybe for rally racing, and here if you want the suspension softer or harder. And here on the right side you have the 911 Dakar badge, also indicating this is just one of 2,500 pieces. And now if Leah would be so kind to show us the passenger cup holder. Thank you. That's a beautiful solution, isn't it? Infotainment system, that meanwhile have an easier layout here. With this app view on the left side you have some hotkeys and of course Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connection, and actually everything is working quite quickly. Air conditioning is also important because here you can turn on and off the AC. You can't do that below, just the temperature and the vent strength. Oh, nice visualization in the infotainment system. This is how it looks like without the wrap. One of my favorite features is this armrest here, microfiber contrast stitching, and you can lift it up. Cable connection for the smartphone, but wireless connection for CarPlay and Android Auto is also available. Not only electric vehicles, of course, also Porsche 911s have a Frunk. There we go, and it fits with a standard suitcase. The width is almost 70 centimeters or 27 inches, by the way. Alright guys, German Autobahn with the Porsche 911 Dakar. We put to the sports mode. Start from 60 kilometers an hour. Let's go. That's 220. What the? Okay, that was 240 kilometers an hour, like 130, 140 miles an hour. That went like nothing. Oh my goodness. And I mean, the sound, I mean, yeah, like a normal 911 is famous for a lot of things, but not necessarily for the most emotional sound in comparison to other like V8 or whatever. Here the 3-liter flat 6, 480 horsepower, that's comparable to a GTS version. But boy, this is really emotional. And I mean, you're sitting higher here, like I said, in this 911 Dakar version, 5 centimeters or 2 inches comparing to the normal, and it does fit the vehicle. It's awesome. Again, over 200 kilometers an hour, and it's so easily done, and it's really comfortable. I mean, here now, lane change to the right, lane change to the left, doesn't tilt at all, PDCC, adaptive suspension. Wow, that's awesome. And I mean, yeah, the cool thing about this one, I mean, you have 19-inch in the front, 20-inch wheels in the rear, and these all-terrain tires make the ride so comfortable. I mean, yes, it is super sporty, and I don't feel it would be like less sport than a normal 911. At the same time, these tires and the higher ride makes it so much more comfortable and likable. This is, I really have to say, this might be my favorite 911 ever. Wow. I'm really impressed. I was, skeptical at first, but it fits really well to this vehicle. And I mean, what else we could do? We can go to the off-road mode. Now the vehicle is raising even more than like 3 centimeters, an inch more. Let's see how that one performs. You can ride here up to 170 kilometers an hour, or it's like just over 100 miles per hour, something like that. It's even higher now, and it kind of doesn't feel like a 911 anymore in a way. In a way it does, but in a way it doesn't, So you really feel like you're driving a crossover now. You have this 911 gene, definitely, and it still fits the German Autobahn. At the same time, it feels crossover-ish. That's the guys behind us. Everyone is smiling. We're seeing like this 6,000 euros extra 1978 Dakar Rallye paint, or this wrap, and everyone's just going nuts, smiling, and it's like, wow, what is this? Is there like a toy car being driven around by a little boy? Yeah, and I just have to say, like, when you're driving this one, you feel like a little boy again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, even in this higher mode, it's perfectly fine, It's so much fun to drive it. Wow. You have to consider, though, that the higher mode is not ideal in a way that it takes away, the dampening way. So it is actually better just to drive in normal mode, because then the suspension can rule better in both ways. So what about the all-wheel drive when I accelerate out of the corner? Beautiful, super precise. Rear bias always. I also have this gauge where I can actually see that. So this will always be a rear biased all-wheel drive. So pretty cool. You don't lose the rear bias feeling you would have from a normal just rear drive version. Here once again getting on the motorway. Wow. It's so precise. Look at the steering. Super precise. Every movement transported to the road. No tilting at all. Beautiful. This is such a flawless feeling, and I don't know how they did it, or how it exactly works, but I would have guessed that a higher or lifted up version in a way loses sportiness and loses precision or something, but I feel this is even better. Wow. This body here, by the way, when you push it a little bit more down, then of course the gear goes low, but you can also use the shifting pedals. That's also always a lot of fun, like this. Yeah, it's really high quality feeling as well. Great job. Or here just shifting down, let the sport exhaust, wobble a little bit. Beautiful. The brakes also give you a very fine feeling, so I know exactly what I'm doing at any time. It's very well to control as well. So I'm really astonished of how this is still an Autobahn machine, although it's basically rally proof, and also, you know, you can go to even sand dunes with that one. That is really impressive. Most of the time here, of course, sports mode makes most sense on the Autobahn. We did try the off-road mode just for fun, but it doesn't really make sense here. If you're on a normal mode, by the way, then here a little bit more silent. This exhaust button I could also press just separately. That would be possible. However, at normal it's usually deactivated. You can also use the lowering or raising the vehicle by yourself. Here, for example, it was still raised. Still felt great. Now I'm lowering it again, and I'm feeling a little bit more connection to the ground. But you can drive it in both modes very, very well. Here in the normal mode, feels also calm and collected. I really love the steering feel. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, no dead zone area, it's just perfection and precision. And here, going to the sports mode once again, it's easier shifting with this 8-speed PDK. It's a dual clutch transmission. Always safety first, of course, waiting until a freeway. Here, for example, shifting down myself first. Shifting up myself. It's also a lot of fun. And you're so quick. Wow. So the most astonishing thing to me is really how well it feels on the Autobahn. And I really have to say, I never had so much fun and so much comfort at the same time in a Porsche 911. And that's actually a huge achievement. Don't you think so? One more time, I'm getting off the motorway, because I know this party has a great corner combination. I don't even feel I have to lower the speed. Driving this with 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, it feels like on a racetrack. Incredible. Wow, this is so much fun. I love it. Wow. You seem to love it well. You know, as well, right?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. So also gets the co-driver stamp, and in this case we can really call it co-driver. And these seats here, the bucket seats, you should stick with them. First of all, I feel they are more comfortable than the standard sport seats, and they hold you so tight. Maybe you've seen on camera, I mean, I was doing corners with a lot of speed. At the same time, we were held tight, and that really helped moving in such an agile way. And I mean, she still feels great. So this is always something to consider when you look over to your passengers. If they're all right, then you know seats are good, you know, and G-forces are good, and so on and so on. And another thing I realized when we're here on the motorway is this car is dangerous, but not in the way you think. Yes, it's super quick, but it's also so great in the handling and so well controllable. So as long as you leave the ESC in and so on, and you learn to drive the car and can handle the speeds, it's also a very safe car, you know, it handles super well. It's more dangerous because people are starting to take out their smartphones even if they're alone in the vehicle. We've seen it a couple of times. They're driving, taking out the smartphones and trying to take pictures and videos of you because this car has this special wrap, and no one's like, what is this, like a Porsche, but it's like super colorful, and then it's like higher, and what is this? They're really like filming and taking photos all over the place while driving. So please, if you see us doing these reviews in this vehicle, you know, wait for like passengers taking out their smartphones and so on, or watch our videos and don't take pictures or videos of the car while you're driving. So this is the biggest safety concern of this vehicle. But yeah, of course, it also speaks for this vehicle. And as I couldn't even, you know, start filming this review earlier because every neighbor I met wanted to talk to me about this vehicle. Yeah, and that rarely happens with another Porsche, even if Porsche is like already exclusive and expensive. This one just blew everyone's minds. Yeah, and now we're getting onto the motorway once again. You see, I picked the route today where we got on and off to have even more fun. And let's enjoy this one here one more time together. That precision once again from the steering wheel in the bend. You feel like I could go double the speed in here. Interesting. So let's get on there once again. And you get through. 200 kilometers an hour. That was already 220 kilometers an hour once again. Wow, it goes so quick, and I just have to say once again, I never felt so connected to a Porsche 911. Amazing.